It's that time of year again in Canada. The air is getting a bit crisper, the leaves are changing colors, and Justin Trudeau is starting a diplomatic war in India for reasons that seem to escape most Canadians. Now, to recap where we were a year ago, Justin Trudeau had made accusations against the Indian government that they had killed Hardip Singh Nijjar, who was the leader of the Khalistan Tiger Force, killed and gunned down outside his Gurdwara in June of 2023. In September of 2023, Trudeau went public with these accusations, which was a silly move, and all hell broke loose. So over the next year, we found out that the people who killed him were here as students. Oh, the student visa program. What fun. So he was killed by 4 Sikhs. So is this inter-Khalistani gang war like the government in India is alleging and happens often in Canada? Khalistani gang members do kill Khalistani gang members here all the time. Or was this a hit orchestrated by the Indian government to take out Hardip Singh Nijjar, who is a lovable Canadian citizen, even though he was denied Canadian citizenship once and then tried to get it again through fraud and was denied a second time, and then somehow snuck in the country a third time. But, you know, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, except for Karima Baloch, who was murdered by the ISI in Canada, and my friend Mehdi Amin, who was murdered by the IRGC here in Canada. They do not count. The only Canadians that are Canadians are ones active in foreign terrorist operations. But putting that aside, we've had a year of time to have these allegations come public. Nothing really substantive to come public. Again, we found out that the killers were Sikh gangsters on student visas. It's kind of who does most of the murdering in Canada anyway. Khalistani gang members. All right. Now, we've escalated crazy. This week, Justin Trudeau has named the Indian High Commissioner as a person of interest in the killings and asked India to waive the diplomatic immunity. They said, no, that's a crazy request. We are not going to do that. And then India withdrew their ambassador and a bunch of diplomats due to threats against their lives. As you can see, there are many Khalistanis. You've sure seen it. They'll make effigies of the Indian ministers, Modi, High Commissioner, different ministers. They'll shoot guns at it. They'll burn it on fire. They're saying, we're going to come get you. We're going to get you. We're essentially making death threats against them. So they said, okay, Canada's not a safe country. We're pulling out. And they expelled 6 foreign diplomats from Canada. I said, okay, get the Canadian High Commissioner out. We don't want to deal with Canada anymore. I mean, Canada and India are now in a diplomatic freeze. Our relationship is downgraded. And as I like to say, it's probably in cryostasis until we get a new government. I don't think the Indians will want to deal with Justin Trudeau or Jagmeet Singh ever again. I think they're completely done with them. They figure we're a country of over 1.5 billion people. We don't need Canada. Canada needs us. We're going to just put them off to the side for about a year. Seems to be what we're going with here. All right. Now, if there was compelling evidence to link the Indian High Commissioner to the murders, this would be a big deal. So Trudeau got the RCMP to come out and give a press conference. The press conference is fascinating because the press conference from the RCMP completely validates the Indian narrative on this. When asked by Boz News, which is a Khalistani outfit here in Canada, when asked, hey, are they targeting people of other South Asian communities? They tried to get them to say, oh, India is a big thing. And then the RCMP says, no, they're just targeting Khalistanis. Just Khalistanis are targeting. So narrative went kaboom in one little statement there. Now, it gets even stranger because the accusations went from, okay, the Indian High Commissioner had a hand in this one assassination. Okay, possible. Unlikely, but possible. To now, oh, the Indian High Commissioner and the Indian government is now part of an entire criminal gang network across Canada involved in multiple murders, extortion rackets, you name it. The Indian government's running a widespread gang problem here in Canada. Okay. Slight problems with this. One, on sort of the emotional level. Listen, I have a bit of a platform. I talk about politics. This gives me the privilege of interacting with a lot of politicians with and the system within our country. And what you will learn is most politicians don't have good thought-thinking abilities. They're idiots. Some are very competent. Now, their staff, the staff of every single politician, all of them are cognitively impaired. There is not a single staffer in the Liberal Party, Conservative Party, PPC, I don't even think has staff, Green, whatever. There's not a single staffer in this country, in the Ontario Parliament, in the federal parliament, with an IQ above 70. They're all cognitively impaired. All of them, to a man. And it's like part of the system, I think, does this to them. You can go in with like an IQ of 110 or so, but it's like radioactive decay. As the more time you spend in the political system, the dumber and dumber you get as your IQ goes and degrades on a half-life. That's kind of how politics works. Now, these people are dumb and incompetent. And you think you've met dumb and incompetent people. Oh my God, Indian bureaucrats. Listen, I have no problem with India as a country, but I'm going to tell you, like every other country, your bureaucrats, they couldn't organize a pizza party, let alone a widespread criminal gang activity across the country. Don't tell me this. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. The Indian foreign corps is so understaffed. There's 7,000 people in it worldwide. That's not Canada. Worldwide for over 1.5 billion people. This thing is understaffed. The bureaucrats just come here and get invited to go to parties where they're free samosas and then go to their homes and hope they don't get murdered by Khalistanis. That's the role of an Indian diplomat here in Canada, is eat a samosa, go back home, hope you don't get killed, do nothing. To try and sell me that these people are running a giant cross-Canada criminal gang network is insane. Now, let's go to the criminal gang network. The RCMP says it's run by Lawrence Bishnoi, a famous Indian gangster. One problem, he's in jail. Where? In India. Okay, but the Indian government's using his gang network. Oh, he's in jail. It's like an Al Capone thing. A widespread gang network, and it's across Canada. Now, another thing is, there was just a major Indian politician, a key strategic ally of the BJP in their government. He was just murdered by who? The Lawrence Bishnoi gang. So the BJP is controlling the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, allegedly, in Canada, but then they're also murdering BJP allies in India to destabilize their own rule. Whoopsie doodles. That makes no sense. Maybe it's not the guy in jail, Lawrence Bishnoi. Maybe it's chief deputy, who's actually here in Canada. The guy currently running the gang is actually here in Canada. What another problem? There is an extradition request from India to get him out of Canada. Who's trying to arrest the guy? It's India. So India is running a criminal gang network in Canada through the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, which is a huge threat to Canadians that Trudeau had to just come out and say it without presenting any evidence of it. And then the only person who's actually trying to arrest this guy who's running the gang is India. They're trying to arrest him and get him out of Canada. Allegedly, they're using him to run a criminal gang network through Canada and through their... It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't believe Justin Trudeau. I don't believe what he's saying. Again, if it was just the one thing where, okay, hard up signature, they might have felt that he was running an active terrorist training camp on Canadian soil and they had to take him out because he was blah, blah. Okay, maybe they could have pounded a bunch of amphetamines at the Indian High Commission, really got their act together for a few days and planned one criminal activity and brought in some gangsters from India to do it. Okay, maybe. But to tell me these ding-dongs are running a widespread criminal gang operation across the entire country, and they're running it through a gangster who they're trying to arrest and extradite out, and Canada's protecting. We're protecting the gangster that we don't want extradited to Canada, even though now we're saying he's running a gang assassination network across the entire country. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay. As you can imagine, India kind of knows this. India's kind of going, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And they sort of just, okay, we've cut off Canada. We don't want anything to do with Canada right now. Just get Justin Trudeau out of here. The statement for the MEA in India is ridiculous. The Indians came out hard on Trudeau. I was reading the letter. I'm like, who wrote this? Did a bunch of Indian diplomats write this, or did I write this? That's how hard the letter goes. They basically say Justin Trudeau is a terrorist sympathizer. He's playing vote bank politics. They made fun of him for his 2018 trip to India, the one where we went, ding, 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 that one. They're like, yeah, that was for domestic vote bank politics. You brought a terrorist with you, Jasper Athwell. They went hard, okay? They're not playing around. But Canada, again, if you want to start a diplomatic war with an ally who is also allies with our other allies, you need evidence, because we are a country of 40 million people. They're a country of 1.5 billion people. A bit bigger of an economy, which means mutual allies. Let's take, Sweden, for example. I don't know the treaties. They're not going to be like, oh, we're just not going to trade with a market of 1.5 billion people to support Canada in these spurious accusations. You need proof. Like when the Americans accused the Indians, they came with proof. They came with, here's our evidence and here's what we are saying, right? Deal with this. And that's why India and America are kind of, more on level footing. They're also both superpowers. Canada instead just YOLO. We're just accusing you. The RCMP. Oh, we can't tell you any more details because it would compromise these investigations. But we can tell you that there's this widespread gang network, and we have to come out of it to disrupt their gang functioning network. Please. No one believes that the Liberals care about crime. No one believes they care about public safety. No one believes they care about anti-terrorism. There's currently mobs of jihadis roaming our streets, calling for the murder of Jews. We have Simon Ayoun saying, we are Hamas, we are Hezbollah. They're also not here, the PFLP, all these terrorist organizations talking about committing terrorist attacks on Canadian soil, and they have nonprofit status under Justin Trudeau. So no one believes Justin Trudeau is telling the truth here in Canada. He doesn't have any domestic support. There's not a big rallying of Canadians to the flag to say, yes, protect our beloved Hardip Singh Nijjar, the leader of the Khalistan Tiger Force. No one really cares about him. And it's just, he is just spitting in the eye of a powerful ally. Is it domestic vote bank politics at this point? Maybe. I mean, is he so desperate to keep the record of number one Khalistani over Jagmeet Singh? Who knows? But all you need to know is India is mad. Justin Trudeau is Justin Trudeau. Jagmeet Singh is Jagmeet Singh. And the way this goes, unless there is an election coming up soon, expect Canada-India relationships to be on a deep freeze until we get a new prime minister.